All right. Yeah, come on in. Welcome, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. This is Jim Tanner, by the way. I'm going to be your host for the evening, and I'm excited to have you here with us for our Monday evening get together. We call this a business overview, and I hope you have a pen and paper. I also hope you're prepared to be excited as a guest here today. If you've been invited by one of our associates, they said, "Hey, listen, there's something I just want you to see for yourself." You are going to be sending them a thank you text if they're not sitting next to you in a few minutes. That's a bold promise, but I believe truly that that's exactly how it's going to go this evening. We're going to have a phenomenal event. You're going to see over the next 30 to 60 to 90 seconds, people just continue to log in. And we're going to let them do that, but we're going to get started to respect your time. But you'll also notice, I just want to give you a little housekeeping. It's set up so that you can turn on your camera. We'd love to see your smiling face. Now, if you're driving a car or you're watching this in bed, you can turn your camera off. That's totally fine. If you feel like this is not your hair day, I've had bad hair days in the past. Some more extreme than others. You just whatever makes you feel comfortable is fine with us. But you also will notice that you shouldn't be able to unmute. Now, a few of our speakers are able to unmute, and then they're our co-hosts tonight. They're going to be helping us just to keep the pace and keep everything moving efficiently. But the way you can communicate with us during this event is through the chat. And you're seeing that some folks have already done it. And the great way to test the chat out, get comfortable in there, is to join us by first sharing with us where you're zooming in from today. So again, it's 6 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast. It's 9 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast. There's a bunch of points in between, and there's some folks that are outliers in there as well. I'm making my home in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts, and that happens to be where I'm joining you from today. I'm about 20 minutes west of Fenway Park for the baseball fans in attendance, and I'm excited to be here. You're about to see information. I'm going to help with this presentation, but I'm going to turn it over to my co-presenter to kick us off. But what you're about to see, I saw for the first time 2 decades ago. And once you see what I saw 2 decades ago, you're going to be like me. You can't unsee it. So I hope you're excited for that. I hope that you've got a pen and paper so you can jot down any questions that you might have as well, and so that we can get started here. So I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to do that by introducing this gentleman who's going to kick us off and talk about our flagship products and our company. Then I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about the compensation and the opportunity that we wanted to share with you as well. So we're going to tag team this a little bit. So let me turn it over to my co-presenter. This is a gentleman, his name is John Fehrenbach, and he makes his home in Ohio. He'll tell you a little bit more about his story. But here's what I want you to know as he takes over, because he's not going to brag about himself. This is a gentleman that has gone to some of the highest levels in our company in a short period of time. He's been incredibly coachable, like a sponge, really, in learning this business in the time he's been here. He's someone that today knows 100% of the information, and he's going to share that with you today. He loves helping people. I've been watching him do that now for a couple of years, just helping people get started in this business, helping people exceed their expectations and succeed in this business as well. And he loves to have fun. And we've had some real fun, whether it was Maui, Hawaii, when we were on a trip together, or our international conventions that we've been to together. We've been having a lot of fun. So without any further ado, John Fehrenbach, we're excited to hear from you tonight. Take it away, sir.
Jim, thank you. Thank you very much for those kind words. Good evening, everybody. I am in Ohio. If you're familiar with Canton, Ohio, I'm just about 10 minutes outside of Canton, Ohio, in Louisville. Canton is where the Professional Football Hall of Fame is if you're a football fan. So if you ever want to see the Hall of Fame, come on. We'll have dinner together and we'll go tour the Hall of Fame. It's the neatest place ever. Anyways, throughout my career, I've been involved in different businesses, from auto glass installation to, I don't know, I did home remodeling for a while, sold direct mail, kept your mailboxes interesting with my direct mail promotions. And lately I was involved in the steel business and still tinker in the steel business. A couple of years ago, I was lucky enough that somebody shared the information that I get the honor of sharing with you this evening. So if you give me 1 second, let me share my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, please. Thank you very much. Excuse me, I get something out of my way here. There we go. Anyways, I'm going to direct most of my comments here this evening to the invited guests. Somebody thought enough of you to invite you to this presentation and to learn a little bit about the impact we're having coast to coast in the US and Canada. And we're certainly glad you're here with us. We're going to be talking a little bit about your opportunity and your freedom. What we know is that the world has changed forever, and people are looking for choices. We're in a work from anywhere revolution. People are looking for choices in income. They're looking for a better work-life balance, and they're looking and choosing more flexibility and independence. In these uncertain times, I'm certain it makes sense to have some sort of backup plan. That backup plan for me was to work some type of business. I knew I could count on me. I've never fired myself. I've never laid myself off, given myself a stern warning now and again. But I knew that I'd be building a future that I could never build as an employee. We're going to be talking more about that in a few minutes. Some of you are here today because you're evaluating your opportunities in the marketplace, maybe as you pivot to a new career, or maybe as a backup plan. We'll share some information this evening for your consideration. But before we do that, with your permission, I'd like to ask a question. Are you working for the right type of income? We know that there's basically three forms of income. There's linear income, where basically for an arranged salary or an arranged hourly rate, you trade your time for money. For this amount of money, I will give you this many hours of my time. We look at this as kind of like a regular job. We know that there's leveraged income, where you might build a team and leverage the income potential of not just one person, but of many persons by a multiple. An example of that might be a broker. They have products or services such as a real estate broker or an insurance broker, and they have a bunch of agents out there selling in the marketplace. And every time they make a sale, whether it's a house or an insurance policy, that broker gets a piece of each and every sale. That's leveraged income of a team. And then there's residual income, where the work you do today, tomorrow, maybe next week, or even next month will continue to pay off for years to come. This could be your retirement plan for sure. It's very similar to the royalties that music artists and actors get every time a song is played or their movie or TV series is aired. It's literally disconnecting time from money. I've heard this called rollover money, where you roll over in bed and the money just never stops. We'll be discussing this a little bit more in detail a little bit later. Now, let's stop to consider a company. We know that there's five areas to evaluate. You're looking for a company that is rock solid and has stood the test of time. We know that startups can be a bunch of fun, but the upside is certainly unpredictable and they're certainly volatile. With an unpredictable upside, usually the downside is unpredictable as well. We know that we need to know that there's a need in the marketplace for the type of products that particular company has. And we need to know if the product actually fills a need in an easy to use manner. And then compensation. Are you compensated well for sharing the product with other people? And we need to know if the timing is right. Is this the right time for this company and its products? Now, let's keep those 5 areas to evaluate in mind as we go on further. Let me tell you a little bit about our company. This is our founder, Mr. Stonecipher. Now, we know he was in a car accident where he wasn't at fault. The other party that caused the accident was even cited by the State Highway Patrol. And while he lay in the hospital recuperating from his injuries, an attorney had convinced the other party to file a lawsuit against Mr. Stonecipher. He spent most of his life savings, literally drained his life savings defending himself. Now, he was a full-time teacher and an insurance agent, and he started to think about his situation. And he noted that he had car insurance. He knew that that would take care of his car. He had health insurance, so he knew all of his hospital bills would be taken care of. And had something tragic happened, he had life insurance to take care of his family. But he had nothing, absolutely nothing to help him with a lawsuit. From that accident, a mission was born: equal access to justice. From his kitchen table to this home office in Ada, Oklahoma, this 51-year-old company is protecting and empowering over 4.4 million people across the US and Canada. Our vision, and I have to read this verbatim because this is our vision, is to provide equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves. Not some, not a few here or there, but that every human deserves. You'll see us written up in Forbes, Bloomberg, CNBC, and Yahoo. This company's been traded on the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, and then was acquired by MidOcean Partners for $650 million and is currently valued at over $2 billion. Why, might you ask? Well, we've mastered this thing called disruptive innovation, making things simpler, making things easier, making things more affordable. I'm sure you remember going to the shopping mall and shopping around for shirts or shoes or groceries for that matter. Well, as you all know, just by jumping on your Amazon app, you can shop for shirts, shoes, and groceries all through that app. And sometimes same day, if not the next day or the day after, it's delivered right to your doorstep. Amazon is a disruptive innovator, making things simpler and easier. I don't know if any of you remember going to the store to buy CDs or LPs or maybe even eight-track tapes. 8-track tapes. I'm probably dating myself a bit. Go to the music store and you go through tons and tons of files of music looking for the particular either artist or genre that you were looking for. Well, today, with a simple push of a button, you can search for the song and genre that you want. A list pops up, you push a button, next thing you know, it's playing right on your phone. Again, a disruptive innovator. And don't get me started about what Uber and Lyft did to the taxi industry. Talk about a disruptive innovator. Now, what about getting equal access to the justice system? Well, that's where we come in. I don't know if you've ever had any of these happen, but just for me, type of one, if any of this resounds with you. First off, have you ever thought about writing or revising your will? If you haven't, you better put a 1 in there because I gave you the idea tonight. Have you ever been notified that your personal information was compromised? Have you ever been treated unfairly and said, let me speak to the supervisor? Maybe you've been a victim of a breach or identity theft, signed a contract that you didn't quite understand, or maybe even regretted later. I know I've received traffic tickets. There should be a bunch of 1s flying in there now. Maybe had an insurance claim denied or thought that you thought might have been covered. Had questions regarding your credit score. Maybe even bought a defective product and wondered what your rights were. Maybe had your social media account hacked. Well, again, this is where we come in with Legal Shield and ID Shield. These are everyday normal things that happen to us. Probably wouldn't even consider calling an attorney for most of these things just because of the pure expense. Now, with a tap of the app, we're connected to an attorney for all of those everyday issues. We call this Legal Shield. This is what the app looks if you were to put it on your phone. Imagine this app being on your phone and all of a sudden something comes up, you pull up that app and with the push of a button, you're able to talk to an attorney about your particular situation. And there's no need to vet them. Legal Shield has already done that. Our network of attorneys throughout the United States and Canada have been vetted and they know us as customers. There's 4.4 million of us. They can't help but know us as their customers. They're the right attorney for your particular situation. Just for a minute, if you don't mind, let's say you're my attorney, and I'd like you to consider doing the following things for just 1 monthly fee. First off, preventative type of coverage. If I need some type of personal legal advice, no matter how many times I call within a 30-day period, I want you to pick up your phone and give me your best legal advice on that particular situation. If I'm involved with contracts or need documents reviewed, I'd like you to take care of those for me as well and give me your give me your legal advice on that. And also, if perchance I need a letter or a call made on my behalf, and you feel it's in my best interest, I'd like you to go ahead and send that or make that call. Life events. I'd like you to take care of writing my will, my living will, my health care and financial power of attorney. If I get in trouble with a traffic ticket, I'd like you to help me with that. And if my name is ever brought up in a civil trial for any covered situation, I'd like you to take care of my pretrial and trial through those 30 days, this 30-day fee I'm asking you to charge me. And if the IRS ever comes knocking on my door, I want you to help me with tax audit assistance. And of course, go to bed with your phone. Because if I get in trouble at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I want to be able to call you and you pick up the phone and give me your best legal advice at that particular situation. And of course, family and domestic services, any type of uncontested divorce, adoption, maybe separation or name change. I want you to take care of those. So, Mr. Attorney, I put it into your lap. How much would you charge me for that? I mean, we've heard tens of thousands of dollars. I've heard attorneys say that would bankrupt my firm to provide all of those services for you. But guess what, folks? That's what Legal Shield does for $29.95 a month. Excuse me. They provide personal legal advice. Contracts and documents are reviewed. Letters and calls are made on your behalf. Any type of life events that happen, they'll take care of your will, your living will, your powers of attorney, traffic ticket assistance. If you're named in a civil trial, they'll take care of that for you. If the IRS does knock on your door, you have tax audit assistance with our Legal Shield attorneys. Of course, there's 24/7 emergency protection. If anything were to ever happen at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you just pop open that app on your phone and you hit that button for emergency legal access to your attorneys, and you'll be connected with an attorney for advice on the spot. And of course, we also have family and domestic services, uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, name change. And if there's something that's not covered under our plan, which I can't imagine what that would be, you would have a 25% preferred discount on those type of services as well. Again, it's $1 a day for peace of mind. Now, who's covered? So you, the members, covered. Your spouse or domestic partners covered. Your never married dependent children under the age of 26 living at home or a full-time student. Your dependent children under the age of 18 from whom the member is a legal guardian, and any physically or mentally disabled children living at home. That's the Legal Shield plan. It's plain, it's simple, and it's practical. Our other flagship product is ID Shield. Now, this does what any type of ID protection coverage that would do. It monitors and alerts on credit scores, social security numbers, if it sees anything that's happening with that, your driver's license, passports, your email. It monitors the dark web, and it sends you alerts. It also has privacy and social media reputation management, where it pays attention to Instagram, and it sends you an alert, says, hey, this was written about you. You might want to pay attention to it. Or even something that you write. Hey, you might want to reconsider rewriting this because it might just not sound right. Listen, if you remember nothing else about this service, I want you to remember that your identity is not your credit score. Your identity is not your credit score. It's your brand in the marketplace. It's who you are, and it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. People don't want to be embarrassed or shamed in their community. ID Shield pays attention to your identity through these monitoring, alerts, and reputation management services. And to boot, we have comprehensive restoration plus a $3 million protection plan for identity theft related issues. And if that's not enough, if your identity is ever compromised, stolen, or otherwise, we have licensed private investigators who have your back. They'll do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity back to its pre-theft status. We also have a suite of electronic protection that's included with ID Shield. We have a malware protection that you can protect up to 10 devices in your home to keep that, those nasty viruses and things off your computers and electronic devices. We have VPN Proxy One. If you're not familiar with what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network. Anytime you go to a McDonald's or a Starbucks or a hotel, you're on what they call a public network. What happens with VPN One is it actually creates a private network that just encompasses you and protects your information from prying eyes. And of course, we have a password manager, saves you time and gives you control over your passwords. We have credit counseling and education for those who are enrolled in both Legal Shield and ID Shield. And of course, we have privacy management. Individual plans are $19.95 and a family plan is $34.95. Now, who's covered? Well, in the individual plan, obviously the member's covered. In the family plan, the member's covered, the member's spouse or domestic partner, and up to 10 children under the age of 18. It also provides consultation and restoration services for your dependent children 18 to 26. So I have a 21-year-old grandson, a 20-year-old grandson, and he's in that 18 to 26. So if something were to ever happen with his identity, he could reach out to our private investigators to help manage that and get his identity back to that pre-theft status. And if that's not enough, we have member perks. Member perks is where we have over 400 different vendors that are all vying for your business with discounts and promotions. Most of us find that it's enough to offset our Legal Shield and ID Shield memberships as far as taking care of us is concerned. You can get discounts at Costco's, Expedia, Sam's Club, all kinds of places. You need to check out member perks. I'm gonna turn this over to my business partner, Mr. Jim Tanner. He knows how to have all the fun, and he really knows how to use these member perks as he's been around for 20 plus years. And Jim, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fehrenbach. Great job on the Legal Shield and ID Shield membership. A membership that, by the way, I saw for the first time when I was 19 years old. Now, as I mentioned, when I was getting started, I saw what I'm about to show you 20 years ago, but 10 years prior to that, somebody showed me Legal Shield. And I said, listen, I've got to have this. I've got to protect myself. I was single back then. The only thing I really cared about was my driving record and my rights. And I just loved this. I remember saying when the gentleman showed me Legal Shield, I said, if he says a price I can afford, I am getting this. And that's exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, before I talk about member perks, I'll just share real quick that the first time I got to use my Legal Shield membership, which, by the way, was not a smartphone app in back all those years ago. I didn't have a cell phone at all. And if I did, it wasn't smart. But we used to have a card with our law firm's phone number on it back in those days. And I had a landlord tell me that I wasn't getting my security deposit back. Actually, his quote was, Jim, you're never going to see this $500, so forget it. And I was frustrated because I hadn't broken the lease. I hadn't damaged the property. He just didn't think there was anything I could do about it. But I remember thinking, I just signed up for this Legal Shield thing. I called them to see what I should do. Because as John Fehrenbach said, you get the ability to consult with an attorney. But they just said, listen, we got it from here. They understood what was going on and they understood the urgency. Here was the urgency. If my landlord did that, I couldn't afford to move to my new place. I didn't have enough extra money to do that. So they overnighted a letter to him and they said they were my attorneys. They told him what the law was. They demanded that he return that. Well, listen, I don't have a lot of time. Here's the quick version of the story. He got that letter 24 hours after he said I'd never see that deposit. He wrote me a check. He called me at work. He said, Jim, come and get this check. I don't want any problems from your attorneys. That's the power of having somebody to have your back. And I've never lived in the American economy. That was at 19 years old when I got my membership. I've never lived in this economy and gotten pushed around. I've never wondered what to do or who to call. I've never been treated unfairly because I've always had Legal Shield. And part of the mission that I'm going to show you is bringing that peace of mind to every corner of every community across the United States and Canada. But before I move on from member perks, since it's on your screen anyway, I'll say that in my family, our investment in Legal Shield and ID Shield is offset every month by member perk savings. Between our cell phones and our travel, our gym memberships, Disney Plus, which I don't even know. I think I must have like 9 Disney Plus subscriptions. That's probably not true, but it feels like it. But all of the, subscription services, memberships to gyms, my cell phone, just my cell phone alone is a massive savings. That's member perks. And I'm here to talk to you about the opportunity. So if you can take a no-brainer, like now that you know that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists, you are going to tell people that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists. Like you're not going to overhear a friend talking about their legal issue and not tell them what you saw today. You're not going to overhear a friend or a family member or a coworker talk about how thieves got their identity off the dark web and the terrible things they're doing with their information and not tell them about this. So of course you're going to. So I'm going to show you the opportunity and I'm going to do it just in a quick handful of minutes because that's really all it takes. Because if our membership makes sense, then what I've got to show you is how you make dollars. And I know that's cliche and fun to say, but it's a great way to remember it. But I will tell you this, that right now, Legal Shield and ID Shield matters in the marketplace. I'm going to close the same way that John Fehrenbach opened, but this is our wheel of opportunity because we only have a little bit of time with you. So I just want to make sure you understand that while you heard about Legal Shield and ID Shield, we also have a plan for small businesses that addresses the needs on a daily basis of the small businesses on your Main Street USA. So that small business owner who went out on a limb, who took a risk, who probably mortgaged their future to start and grow a business will have the same legal muscle as a Fortune 500 company. And we can help them do that at a price that works for their business. We have the ability to bring Legal Shield and ID Shield into companies as a voluntary employee benefit. You know what that does? That helps the business owner attract new talent and then retain the people they already have. It helps them to have employees that are less stressed and are less worried, employees that are more focused on their work when they're at work and less likely to take time off from work. We have a plan for commercial truck drivers that allows the folks that move our economy from coast to coast with the goods that we need to be protected while they're doing that. We have supplements that speak to the needs of every part of our community. Maybe folks that are rideshare drivers that you know, Uber and Lyft, of course, folks that own a firearm, that have a concealed carry permit. We can protect all of these different types of groups of people and individuals, even if you operate a business from your home address, a small business out of your garage, out of your kitchen, out of your back bedroom. We can protect you in that business as well. Isn't that great? There's just all these different ways to take advantage of our wheel of opportunity. But I want to talk to you about compensation. I don't know if you know this, but in 2021, we don't have the 2022 numbers yet, but in 2021, the fact is that 2/3 of the bankruptcies that happened in 2021 could have been avoided with an additional $500 a month coming into that family's household. So while we've got an opportunity for you to make big money, I just want to talk to you about the fact that there's an opportunity to create an income stream with a real business and a real company marketing a real service that real people need. And in our business, here's our compensation model. First of all, we have that linear piece that John Fehrenbach talked about, where you can enroll members. And here's what enroll means. It might mean you send someone a video with a presentation like what we're doing tonight, or you invite them back here on Monday nights and they can see it for themselves. However you want to do it to educate someone the fact that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists, we'll do the presenting. All you have to do is do the inviting. It's kind of like if I said, hey, listen, I'll go to the gym and lift the weights, you can have the muscles. That's kind of how this works. So you can invite people to learn more about what Legal Shield and ID Shield is all about. They say, yeah, that makes sense. I want to protect myself. I want to protect my family. I want to protect my business. They sign up on your website, takes about 3 minutes. On our $64.90 plan, which is what John Fehrenbach just showed you, our Legal Shield and ID Shield for a family, you can earn anywhere from $70 as a new associate up to $370 per sign up. That's an upfront advance commission, which means you're funded on day one. Our company actually pays you 1 year's worth of commission upfront, and they pay it every day. Somebody put a 1 in the chat if you would like to get paid daily in a business that you can operate from your home. Because the fact is, we get bills every day in the mail. But I don't know about you, but before I had this business, I got paid every 2 weeks. And that was painful. As a matter of fact, I got a second job working at a store in the mall, not just to earn some extra income, but I chose the job, not because I thought I would enjoy it. I chose the job because it paid every 2 weeks, the opposite 2 weeks, so that every Friday I could get a check. I don't know if anybody's ever thought like that before, just so I could create weekly income for myself. But in our business, we get paid every day, not the 1st, not the 15th, not every other Friday, not the 3rd harvest moon. Every time there's an event in your business where money should go to you, it drops into your checking account. That's powerful. That's our linear income model. But then we also have the leverage income model where you can build a team and you can earn income on the memberships that your team members enroll. And the power of this is your team members get their money. Their compensation goes directly to them. You don't get a piece of what they're supposed to get. You don't shave off some of their money. They get their money. And because you introduce them to the business, our company out of a completely separate bucket says, thank you for helping us expand our distribution force across the map. And because you did that, we're going to drop what's called overrides into your bank account every time somebody on your team does some business. Isn't that powerful? So you've introduced somebody that you know, someone you work with, someone you met one time, someone that you've known your whole life, whoever it is, you introduce them to a way to create a new income stream for their family. And because you did that, you created a second income stream in your Legal Shield business for you and your family. And then there's the power of residual income. Now, I got to be honest with you. When I got started in this business in February of 2004, I understood the upfront money, $70 to $370 when I signed up a family. And I understood that I could build a team and I could earn leveraged income working with a team of people. I understood that. I did not understand the power of residual income. I didn't. But I'll tell you today, all these years later, I understand it completely. As a matter of fact, my first customer that I signed up when I joined this business, now nearly 20 years ago, is still on the books right now. And I've been paid every month for nearly 20 years on that membership. She loves her membership. She would never be without her membership. She's gotten great value from it. My question to you is this: what are you getting paid on right now that you did 20 years ago? And then the deeper question is, do you like the answer to that question? Because the time goes by either way. All I'm suggesting is that you position yourself with a real company that pays real residual income. As a matter of fact, today, 30,000 of our associates earn monthly residual income checks. That's powerful, and I'm impressed by that, but that's nothing compared to where we're going to go from here. So we've got this great compensation model. We've got this fast start to success training, because what we don't do, which you've probably you've experienced before, is this idea of, it's like, you say you hear that you're going to get help, but what you really get is some brochures and a pep talk. It's like, go get them, Tiger. But that's not how we do it. We rise together. So we've got training for you. And I just want to give you a little bit of a sample of what this can look like, because some of you are saying, Jim, I am too busy. I told my friend I was too busy. I said I would watch this presentation because he or she really asked me and they seemed really excited, but I am just flat out. I've got too much going on. I'm going to tell you something. For those of you who think you're too busy to do this, that is exactly why your friend invited you today. I'm just being real, because I was working and commuting 80 hours a week when I saw this. And the fact is, how was I going to ever get out of that? I mean, what's your plan? If you're so busy, what is your plan to be less busy? I don't know the answer to that for you. I knew that I didn't have a plan until this plan that I really was searching for, looking for, hoping for, praying for, laid in my lap. And I said, I got to do this. Okay. So here's what I want to show you. Not how you can quit your job and do this on faith alone. Not how you can devote 60, 70, 80 hours a week to. None of that is necessary. This is a business that people start part-time typically, spare time, slices of time, stolen moments. And I'm just going to show you an example based again on the 6490 plan. If you protected 4 families a month with those services, which is really just you sending a video to some folks, having them take a look at it. I mean, well, how long does it take to text somebody a video? Seconds, right? You can earn anywhere from $300 up to almost $2,300, $2,292 a month, just for protecting 4 families a month. And not right away, but over time, you build a team of 25 people doing the same thing. They're super busy. They're doing this part-time. They have a goal like you do. Maybe they want to retire a spouse. Maybe they want to refill their retirement plans. Maybe they want to set their kids into private school. Maybe they want to save for their kids' college education or grandkids. Maybe they want more reliable vehicles. They want to buy a house for the first time. They want to move to a safer neighborhood. Whatever everybody's goals are is fine. This can be the vehicle for that. So while you're protecting 4 families a month, earning $300 to almost $2,300 a month doing that as you move up through our compensation plan, and you assemble a team of 25 people, again, not overnight, but over time, now you're talking about a 6-figure plus income, because you assembled a team of people showing them both our services and the opportunity, like John Fehrenbach and I are doing for you today. See, John, we could have done the whole presentation just about our services, and a whole bunch of you would have been like, yeah, I got to get that. But we're telling you the whole story. What I didn't see when the gentleman showed me Legal Shield when I was 19 years old was the opportunity. And quite frankly, I needed an opportunity at 19 years old. But at 28 years old, I was desperate for an opportunity. I was behind on every promise I'd made to myself. I was behind on my bills. I owed everybody money. I was not in good financial shape. But this business has allowed me to change all of that. Now, I don't have a ton of time because I want to give you a chance to hear from some of my business partners, but this is what our compensation plan looks like. And as you saw in the previous slide, you can earn anywhere from $70 up to $370 in a business that it costs $49 one time to get started. That's your investment, which means that signing up one family for this plan means that you are in profit mode right away. And as you can see, you get to promote yourself up the compensation plan to senior associate, to manager, and these levels above. We have bonuses that you can earn up to $700 just as a new associate. Getting started right away, following the process, being coachable, staying on track. You can be on track. You can be ahead of the game. You can move as quickly as you like or slowly as you like. It's your business. And we're going to move with you. We're going to, as mentors and coaches, we're going to respond to your desires and your needs, but we know the way. And we've already gone the way, and we can show you the way as well. So we'll teach you more about the compensation plan, how you can move up, how you can capture all $370, which, by the way, is a significant income per sign up. We're going to show you how you can build a team where you're earning up to $300 every time somebody on your team signs somebody up for these services. But I want to get out of the way so you can hear from some friends of mine. But before I do, I just want to talk to you about one other thing, which is fun. Because I talked to you about our services, well, John did, which is serious. Bringing equal access to justice to you, the power of advocacy and a voice across the community is powerful. Having identity theft not be prevented, because nobody can prevent identity theft, but having a plan in place for when it lands at your front door so that it doesn't disrupt your life and destroy your livelihood is powerful and serious. Those things are serious. The compensation is serious because you can start out just supplementing your income, $500 to $1,000 a month, a few $1,000s a month, and then you can grow that to a six-figure income in a real business. That's serious, but also we like to have fun. And we have a performance club program where if you're doing that same thing, protecting 2 to 4 families a month, you can earn anywhere from $200 a month up to an additional $500 a month in performance club cash bonuses. By the way, that's an additional $6,000 a year. Then we've got leadership matching bonuses that can take that number even higher. But what I think is great about it is that you get to qualify for trips all over the world. And just in the last handful of years, my family has been all over the world. See, I grew up in a small town in a small state. I saw the world through television and magazines. I don't know if any of you have been there. I went on an airplane for the first time in my 20s. I got my passport in my 30s, but I have a daughter who's 8 years old. She's had a completely different life because of this business. Walking the beaches of the world, interacting with a diverse group of people, different communities in different languages, and seeing it all with her own eyes, and all, by the way, paid for by our company. No expenses spared and all expenses paid. And I would love for you to join us on these trips as well. We're planning on going to Jamaica on our next trip. We just got back from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We've been to Maui, Hawaii in the last few years. We're just having a blast. So I'm going to turn it over to a few of our friends, my business partners, so you can hear their story as well. I'm going to come back. I've got a few closing thoughts, and then we're going to say goodnight. But before I do that, let's go to New Hampshire to my good friend, Yvette Eldridge. Yvette, we'd love to hear your story. Take it away.
Oh, Jim, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be able to even share with you the journey that I had with Legal Shield. I actually was presented Legal Shield much like Jim, and I thought I was a foster mom, and every time I went to court, I didn't know what my rights were, but every time I went every single time. Well, I work in the insurance industry, that 8 to faint job, and realized that I actually could sell this and add this to the employee benefits, the business solution side of the house as an employee benefit. And so that became a no-brainer for me. I love what I'm doing. I'm almost at the point now where I can actually give up being a broker and do this full time. I have fun with it. I get to be a part of a mission that's so much bigger than myself, and I get to make a difference in the lives of other people. So yeah, I encourage you to take a look at it because it's been a blessing for me. Thank you. Back to you, Jim.
Yvette, thank you so much. And Yvette's a great, another great reminder that small town, big city, that doesn't really matter. This is a business that is open and available to you across the U.S. and Canada. And now let's go to Colorado Springs, Colorado, to Sonora Danzler.
Hey, everyone. And thank you so much, Jim, for allowing me to share. And, every time I hear you and John talk about our services and our mission and everything, oh my God, I just get so excited. I want to sign back up again, but I'm already a member. But hey, enough of that. Let me just tell you guys just real quickly a little bit about my story. So I came from corporate America. I was working 70, 80 hours a week and missing, just all the important stuff to me. And I'm sure you guys can really relate to that. As a matter of fact, if you're still relating to it, just put a number 1 right there in the chat for me. But I was missing all of the important stuff. I was missing my husband, my kids, family, my faith, fitness, finances, all the important stuff. I saw this opportunity kind of similar to what you guys are seeing right now. And then I said, you know what? I could probably do this in my spare time. It'll definitely fit in to my very busy schedule. So fast forward till today, guys. Well, I'm still extremely, really, really busy with all that stuff that I just mentioned before. But guess what? I do this business part-time, and I follow the amazing system that we have. I stay plugged in. I currently work right now in my local market, which is here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, as a market leader. And I share this opportunity with people. And I also work with small business owners. I work with the owners, their employees, their families, but I'm also building a team, coast to coast of business professionals. And what's next for me, you probably want to know. And I'm just so excited about it. I can't wait to just get back out there, talk to more and more people, let them know about this opportunity, let them know about the membership, because there's so many people that's out there that need these services and that need this opportunity. And I just can't wait to get back out there again tomorrow and share again with so many more people. So back to you, Mr. Tanner, and thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Sonora. Appreciate it very much. Now let's go to Kentucky to Mr. Adam Thompson. Adam?
Mr. Tanner, thank you so much. I think back to almost 10 years ago, almost a decade ago, when I prayed and prayed and prayed. And a lot of folks that I met over this last decade in this company have said what I felt and what I still feel, which is this was an answer to their prayers, just like it was to mine. I found myself all the way into the ditches, digging ditches for the food stamp company locally. I'd gone through a terrible divorce and lost everything, lost all the BMWs and all the money and all the accounts. And I found Legal Shield, and I found what we thought would maybe be a half-hour video or a 30-minute video or what have you. I found it on a 3 or 4 minute video, and I stopped it in the middle of it, and I pushed the button. I pushed the F12 and purchased the product without even knowing. I knew that I needed the product. I knew that everyone needed the product without even knowing that I could offer the product to someone else and get a compensation for it. I could use this as a job, and I did it. And I finished the video and jumped on it and jumped in full steam and jumped off the cliff and went all the way in. The 40, 50, 60 hours you talked about that we don't have to do it, I chose to do that. I chose to do it as a full-time gig. It's not required, but it just worked for me at the time. And I went from ditches, as I say, to riches. It was the first time I ever made 6 figures in a position. It was the first time I ever made $10,000 in a single day. It was the first time I ever made $200,000 in a single year. And I owe every bit of that to God above and to Legal Shield and to people like the folks that were here on this great presentation tonight. I can't stress, get back with the person who invited you to this demonstration, to this information. Ask them the questions. Hopefully you've written your questions down. We want to get your questions answered. There's a ton of people on this Zoom, on this meeting tonight that can answer all your questions for you and get you steered into the right direction. Mr. Tanner, thank you so much. And thank you for Legal Shield. Back to you.
Adam Thompson, thank you very much. And Adam's not going to brag about himself, but he's closing in on $1 million in total income. We love you, brother. Thank you so much. And so as John Fehrenbach started this out for us this evening, he talked about the 5 areas to evaluate. We know you're looking at everything. If you're looking at this, you're looking. But let me ask you this. After what you've seen tonight, do you understand the difference, right? Because you got to have a company that has been proven through the test of time. Yes, startups are exciting. And yes, ground floor opportunities are titillating. But most startups never start up. No, most ground floor opportunities never get off the ground. 51 years ago, Harlan Stonecipher started this company from need, not from greed. Is there a need in the marketplace? Are the individuals in your market, the business owners, the people you care about getting pushed around, silenced, having their voices minimized? Are they frustrated and wondering where to turn when people treat them unfairly? Of course. And do we have a product that matches that? Listen, when it was a laminated plastic card with our law firm's number on it, it was the most powerful card in our wallet. Today, as a mobile app where we can take a photo of a ticket, take a photo of a document, where we can communicate with our attorneys instantly and securely whenever we need to, 24/7, 365. There has never been a better time for what we have. What about the compensation plan? A compensation plan that allows you to be funded from day one with a 1-year advance commission, meaning you don't have to go to the bank with a business plan and try to borrow money. You don't have to mortgage your future. You don't have to risk tomorrow for today because the company's making that investment in you. What about the fact that you create leverage by partnering with people in your community where you can help other people realize a new income stream and then make a powerful income stream for yourself through that ability? Or what about residual income? building an asset that not only do you get to enjoy the ongoing monthly residual income from every member that loves their membership and keeps their membership, but that's willable to your estate, meaning that it's a membership that doesn't just live while you and I live, but that lives on beyond us. And what about the timing? With now 4.8 million families that are leveraging Legal Shield's power, this mobile app on their phone, ID Shield's fraud investigators, to live their lives worry-free. We are positioned now because we've proven the market. We're a $2 billion company. We're not where Harlan Stonecipher was 51 years ago, hoping that we could see this through. We're 6,000 attorneys that were paid $110 million last year with 22 years average experience. We have the best fraud investigators in place. We have the people that are responsive, 700 employees walking into our home office in Ada, Oklahoma to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and finances to make sure that you're compensated well. There has never been better timing than there is right now for a business that you can start for only $49, be in profit on day one with your first sign up. You can start part-time, spare time in slices of time. We used to say work from home. Today with our mobile apps and our technology, you can work this business from anywhere. While you're at the bus stop, while you're living your life, on the way to and from your traditional job, while you're in pursuit of your passions like music and art, you can run your Legal Shield business. Residual income for the lifetime of the membership, our Fast Start to Success training class to launch you the right way, ongoing weekly training to help you build a future radically different from your present, and personal mentors that have already done this thing that you're going to do, have already walked in the footsteps in front of you, and want to teach you exactly how to do it. Now, as Mr. Thompson said, get back to the person that invited you. It'll only take a few moments to enroll. What we're going to do is help you get these services for yourself and for your family if you have one, and also help you get started as an associate for a one-time $49 associate setup fee. Then we're going to get you plugged in, get your websites turned on, and get you started with the training so you can start getting paid daily with this incredible business model. I want to thank everybody that joined us today. I know that we are out of time, so I want to thank you individually for joining us and being a viewer here today. I want to again remind you to get back to the person that invited you. I want to thank my speakers for sharing their personal stories as well. But I also want to congratulate those of you that are right now, you're texting the friend that's not next to you to say, give me that link so I can get signed up, I'm in. I want to thank those of you that are sitting next to that person. You're hugging them right now and saying, thank you for being courageous enough to show me this, not knowing whether or not I would be interested. Being brave enough to show me this, not knowing whether or not I would accept the invitation. I want to say to all of you that are joining us on this mission of equal access to equal justice for every corner of every community, congratulations and welcome to Legal Shield. Good night, everybody.